AI is on the topic of every enterprise these days, so having the right partner in Microsoft has been phenomenal.
We partner with Microsoft across a number of different industries.
So being able to have a platform through Azure that allows us to scale to the extent of their data and their solutions is critical.
As we advanced our collaboration into the agentic AI narrative or generative AI narrative, building a frontier organization, what a powerful narrative that is.
Our partnership with Microsoft helps us accelerate time to market in bringing new, meaningful solutions to our customers that help them improve their business.
What are some of the areas that I'm really excited about in the coming years? How do you really automate some of the business processes and creating newer opportunities and identifying new opportunities altogether?
Customers recognize when we show up together, we show up better.
Hello, everyone. I am Kathleen Mitford, Corporate Vice President of Global Industry Marketing here at Microsoft. And I want to first by saying a big thank you to all of our partners for everything that you do to us throughout the entire year. So we have a great session planned for you today. So I'll start sharing a little bit about what it means to be Frontier as a Microsoft partner. Satish will share a little bit about what that means from an engineering perspective, and then we have a great panel joining us today. So Frontier Transformation. Many of you heard Judson talk about Frontier Transformation in the keynote yesterday. But what does it mean to be Frontier? To be Frontier means to use AI across every part of your business, every function, every role, every business process. And when we engage with customers, we see that there are 4 main areas that are driving success today. The first one is on enriching employee experiences. So how can we use AI with our employees to allow them to be more productive? For me, if anybody took my Copilot away, I would be extremely upset. I can't imagine how I would do my job without it. The second area is about how do we reinvent the way that we engage with customers. And this is a little bit different in every industry. If you're in the retail industry, this is how do you provide more personalized experiences, such as personalized shopping, that we'll hear a little bit more about. If you're in the healthcare industry, this means more about how are we going to provide personalized care to our patients. The next area is reshaping business processes. So how do we transform every business process with copilots and agents? Again, looks a little bit different per industry. If you're in manufacturing, it's about the factory and your factory floor. How do you make that more operationally efficient? If you're in financial services, how do you speed up complying with your regulations and compliance? And my favorite area or scenario is bending the curve on innovation. So how can we use AI to get into new products, new services, even new businesses or business models for our company? So again, these are the areas that we are seeing huge success with customers today. But the thing is that many of these are unique by industry. If you're in financial services, your priorities are different than the healthcare industry or the retail and consumer goods industry. And this is why Microsoft takes an industry approach to how we engage with our customers and with our partner ecosystem. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the frontier transformation with industry. So it all starts with our customers. And how can Microsoft and our partner ecosystem help our customers become frontier? We first do this with our own industry teams within Microsoft. I run corporate marketing, industry marketing. And there, what we do within industry marketing is really understand what are the top use cases by industry. How do we get that message out to customers? Our sales team is organized by industry because, of course, when we have conversations with customers, we want to do that in the language that they understand. Satish is going to talk about our industry engineering team, and of course, we have partnership teams that work with you. The second thing that we do is say, by industry, how do we apply Microsoft's portfolio to solve our customers' needs? So put it in context for the customer. If you're looking to do personalized shopping, what in Microsoft's portfolio is going to help you with that? If you want to provide better patient care, what portfolio does Microsoft have to help our customers on that journey? But the most important part of how we go to industry is our industry partner ecosystem. That is you. At Microsoft, we provide the horizontal platform, and you provide the industry-specific solutions. So I can't tell you how important you are to us in our journey to helping customers become frontier. So again, our industry approach is start with the customer and what are their business priorities, Microsoft teams that speak the customer language, then applying that to Microsoft's portfolio, and then of course the partner ecosystem. So now I'd like to invite Satish to come on stage to talk a little bit about our engineering approach.
All right. Thank you, Kathleen. Oh, wow. Standing room only, huh? So thank you so much for the privilege of your time. And today I'll talk a little bit about the journey that we're on around agents for industry. So this is one where we've learned a ton, I would say, over the last 6 to 18 months, which is the spectrum of agent. An agent is an agent is an agent. But what we're seeing out there and what we're building and what we're seeing a lot of you and partners build is going from the simple to advanced continuum all the way from retrieval type agents to task like agents and fully autonomous agents, right, that operate independently. And if you'd asked me about 6 months ago, I would have said, actually a lot of the use cases we're seeing was probably in the first or second column, but my goodness, there's a lot of goodness and sparks happening on the autonomous agent types. And again, some of them are from us, but many of them are for people from people in this room and beyond in the partner ecosystem. So again, just wanted to frame it with this. And then the second part is, how do I get started? How do I concretely get started? So we've had a lot of conversations with customers, partners. We also have the CIO Summit happening in parallel as well. And the most tangible thing I always talk to customers around is start with M365 Copilot yesterday. Essentially a lot of those employee experiences. I mean, for example, I have about 6 agents that I operate every day for my email, for the presentations I do, et cetera. And there'll be a quiz at the end to see if this was Copilot generated or not. So that's kind of the first step, right, in terms of start using M365 Copilot starting today. The second thing is obviously there's a lot of these out-of-the-box agents that you can use via M365, but in a lot of cases, people want to make it their own, whether it's for you as an individual, for you as your function or your organization. And that's where we see Copilot Studio come in, where you can go tailor, build your own agents, et cetera. And the third one is, of course, again, this is with the framing of agents, almost like a good, better, best, is sort of you have those M365 Copilot. You can build your own with Copilot Studio, or you can also use some of the out-of-the-box agents we have in our Dynamics 365 offering. So these are things like the finance agent, the time and expense agent, the procurement agent, et cetera. But the key thing here is all of these are extensible, configurable, and of course, you can build your own IP on top of it as well, right? So this is where we're seeing a lot of great use cases coming out of this continuum, and obviously a lot of the folks here are already working through this. But my encouragement here is, one of the things I love to say is, you don't build muscle by watching somebody else go to the gym. So just get going, build those solutions, and that's the only way for all of us to kind of learn and go on that journey. On the point of, we have a lot of these agents, but one of the things we're doing at Microsoft is also building some of these out-of-the-box agents that all of you can take, tailor, and build on top of. So this is not an exhaustive list, but we'll talk about some of these things. For retail, we have the personalized shopping agent. For financial services, for example, claims processing, manufacturing, the factory frontline worker, public sector for citizen services, healthcare, education, telco, and much more. So again, these are a few agents that we've built that, again, you can take, build on top of, extend, and make it your own as well. So again, a big part about how do you take this and accelerate, take it to the 70, 80-yard line on behalf of our joint customers. The other thing is, especially for the folks in this group, there's many ways, right? Of course, you can extend, you can embed, and you can also connect to the various artifacts and the broader Microsoft cloud that we have, right? Be it planet scale infrastructure in Azure, data in Fabric, AI, business processes and Dynamics, low-code, no-code, and Power Platform, and much more. But ultimately, after all of that, one of the big things that you can use to reach those customers, those hundreds of millions of customers that Microsoft has versus the enterprise user base, is via the Microsoft Marketplace and the agent store. So once you build these agents and solutions, you have the ability to publish them into the Microsoft Marketplace or the agent store. So think about Office 365 or Microsoft 365, where you can say, get agent, and your solutions can potentially show up there, based on the right metadata again. So that would be a huge call to action for this group in terms of, leverage the platform, use the out-of-the-box stuff as much as we have to extend, build, and then finally, let's go get some users together for your solution, leveraging the bigger ecosystem socket. The last thing maybe that I'll leave with is obviously, and everybody talks about this is the biggest thing ever. Yes, it is. But one of the parallels that I build, especially for this group, is, if you look at the last mobile revolution, maybe this is even bigger now, but the ecosystem that quote unquote was successful or won or et cetera, was the ecosystem, at least I might be biased, it wasn't the ecosystem that had the best dev tools or anything. It was the ecosystem that had the biggest diversity of applications and ecosystem of applications. And similarly, today, I fundamentally believe we're entering the era of there's an agent for that, which is it could be for individuals, it could be for function, it could be for industry, it could be for region. And guess what? Most of that will not come from any one company. It definitely won't come all from Microsoft. And most of this is going to be enabled by the people in this room. So hopefully, this is my excited face, so hopefully there's a huge opportunity for us to go make this a reality on behalf of our customers in every industry, in every region. So with that, I'll bring back Kathleen and the panel for a good discussion on some of the learnings and scars and everything else that you guys can learn from all the experiences in this group. So with that, let's bring aboard.
I hope we don't have any scars, Satish.
Just me.
Well, great. That was a great introduction there. All right, perfect. And again, thank you so much for our panelists for joining us. So Colin, Ihab, and Sunil, could you introduce yourself and your company?
Sure, happy to. Hey everybody, it is a standing room only. This is amazing. My name's Colin Fleming. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at ServiceNow, locally based, which made it, I was able to sleep in my bed this morning, which is nice. I have been with the company for 18 months, and we are a 20-year-old software company focusing exclusively on workflows for the time being, but now we're focused on putting AI to work for people.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ihab Foudeh. I'm the General Manager for the Enterprise Partner Solutions Group for EMEA. I'm new to this role, but I've been with Microsoft for over 20 years, so it's all about partnering with you, winning deals across multiple segments and industries, and I'm looking forward to the discussion.
Great.
Hi, my name is Sunil Senan. I run data and AI business at Infosys globally. Infosys is a digital services company that helps customers drive and deliver outcomes through digital and AI transformation. Glad to be here.
Cool.
Great.
And Satish Thomas, and I'm Kathleen's engineering counterpart.
Excellent, excellent, great. So Sunil, I think we're going to start with you and the collaboration that we've had with Infosys. But first, we'd like to show a video of some of the work that we did with Ralph Lauren on Ask Ralph. Okay, Sunil, the work that we did with Ralph Lauren was really exciting. First, to be able to work with such an iconic brand like Ralph Lauren. And I have to say that yesterday, my husband said, hey, you got a package from Ralph Lauren. I said, well, that's actually a dress for my 13-year-old daughter. You know, it's just such a brand that, you know, for years people love. And something that's really important as we work with Ralph Lauren is to maintain that brand identity with Ralph. They wanted to make sure that the same quality in Ask Ralph was there as if you went into the store and had a personalized shopping assistant or a stylist engaging with you. So I know that that was really important to Ralph Lauren. So can you talk a little bit about how we did that together and some of the learnings along the way?
Absolutely. I think Ask Ralph is one of those finest examples of how you create that frontier organizations leveraging data and AI. Infosys and Microsoft partnered in creating the Ask Ralph, which is a virtual stylist that delivered the experience that matched the Ralph Lauren promise, the brand promise, as well as the experience that they deliver in the store. We complemented each other extremely well. Infosys brought the knowledge of the domain, understanding technology, and bringing that agentic AI architecture expertise. And Microsoft bringing in the industry expertise and the AI expertise and the innovations that you're known for. The engagement was successful primarily because of a few things that we did and a few learnings and the best practices that we were able to create out of that. I think the most important was the domain expertise. Infosys, through its knowledge of Ralph Lauren product and looking at the industry expertise and the retail data model from Microsoft and be able to match attributes to create that accurate personalization and experience that we wanted to deliver is the foundation on which we built this. But on top of that, we created a very scalable AI visual learning because it's all about experience and being able to see what is the consumer engagement and feedback to that. So the AI-driven visual learning, and we deployed a chat analytics, and you saw that in the video as well, that was able to gauge and deliver that personalized experience to the consumers. The other element that we had to work through was to skill the teams, both on our side and on the customer's business and technology side on AI skills that were necessary for us to be able to work with some of the systems. Then when you put something like this in front of your consumers, you want to make sure that the performance is up to the mark because it's all about the experience and the response times were improved by both upgrading the AI models but also optimizing the token configurations and the rest of the infrastructure around it. We looked at how do you pilot such a solution before it goes in the hands of the consumers. Ralph Lauren looked at putting this in the hands of their employees who understood their products and their product promises, and we were able to test with them and make improvements that were necessary before it went out. And then combining that with a number of the visual learning, combining that with the chat analytics, and figuring out what are the ways in which we can bring those feedback into automated reinforcement learning was another piece to this. Because some of these experiences have to grow along with the consumer preferences and interest. We were able to look beyond interactions and do sentiment analysis to look at what were the things that consumers were liking, not liking, and make those strategic data-backed improvements, but also strategic decisions. So I think some of these were important learnings that we were able to bring together, but I think the most important foundation to me was the vibrant partnership ecosystem that works on a common purpose along with the customers. Partners like Infosys, Microsoft, ServiceNow, and others in our vibrant ecosystem become the foundation, and those are the learnings for our collaboration going forward.
I agree. It was a very strong partnership. And just a couple things that I would add to that is Ralph Lauren having their personal stylists actually being some of the first users of Ask Ralph to make sure they maintained that brand promise. And then also the data as well, because making sure that we fed into Ask Ralph years and years of data from catalogs and history. Thank you. And Satish, that was one of the very first projects that we worked on from an industry agent perspective was with Infosys and Ralph Lauren. Any learnings as we build industry agents?
No, I think a ton of learns. I think Sunil hit a lot of it, but I started Microsoft as an intern almost 18, 19 years ago, and my goodness, the way we build agents today is very different from how we build traditional software. Like, for example, the whole concept of evals, which is, you build those, okay, I think we have a slide, but eventually the whole concept of you have these set of evals even before you write a line of code around agents, and then you keep rolling up the hill. So for Ralph Lauren, I think there's a lot of that. The validation was a big part of it. Like, to be honest, I don't think the technical aspects were the toughest part. It was because when you build something like this, the brand, the taste, how it responds become a lot more critical. So there's a lot of business partners, key stakeholders of the company, et cetera. And my goodness, it's such a beautiful use case. For example, I think when we finally went live, it was sort of, actually even before we were testing it, me and my daughter went to a Taylor Swift concert. And I used it saying, hey, I'm going to a Taylor Swift concert, how do I dress up? And I think we have a live photo. Just kidding, we won't do that to you.
I was hoping you were going to go there.
It makes it all real. And I think we talk about all this manufacturing and all these use cases, but this is a beautiful use case that it shows what's possible for agents. Now think about what's possible across function, industry, et cetera. But it's a great partnership. I think Infosys and the broader ecosystem is a key part of how this becomes real.
Great, thank you. So Colin, we're going to switch to ServiceNow, but first I think we have a video that we're going to show.
Fun.
Okay. Nice, vibrant video. I like that. And I was on a customer panel yesterday, and all of the customers that were on the panel were talking about the power of partnership.
Yeah.
And it's not just Microsoft and the customer, but it's the entire partner ecosystem. So Colin, can you tell us a little bit about how Microsoft and ServiceNow are working together to help our customers?
I think that's the better together message, right? We all live in an environment. We've seen this with how quickly and rapidly the industry is shifting. There's a lot of noise out there. We call it the hornet's nest of complexity inside ServiceNow, where the average company has 367 different applications. And it is our partnership to help companies solve that. And really, we should be in service of our customers and resolving that noise. So a couple examples of that. One example is Lufthansa. Amazing ability to run ServiceNow on Azure that gives them the ability to merge 80 different business units and 80 different enterprise systems into one.
Awesome.
This is making our customers' lives better and easier, and we're doing that jointly, which is amazing. Or if you look at like a Teleperformance, for example, this is a real stat, 500,000 employees across 100 countries. How can we make their lives easier? Whether it be IT service or whether it be productivity software with Microsoft Office and Agent 365, this is an opportunity for us to really connect the dots for our customers. And so that's what we were in service of, really making this AI approachable. We moved from the philosophical phase of AI into the real world scenario, as we heard from Satish earlier, and our partnership is helping us do exactly that.
And I love that you said it's about in service of the customers. All of this is putting the customer first, because that's what Microsoft and our partner ecosystem do, and I think it's one of the power of it and the strengths of it.
There's so much vendor lock-in you see across the enterprise software landscape, and we really look at it together and say, what if we actually went the other way and made our customers' lives easier, and we're seeing
Yes.
successful customers as a result of that.
Great. Ihab, you manage of our partners in Europe. Can you talk a little bit about what are the go-to-market opportunities with partners and Microsoft?
Well, there's a great opportunity. And just from sales experience, honestly, the combination of an industry partner with Microsoft, still we are at large a platform company, an innovative company, and the expertise that this group brings into the sales motion is incredible. It puts us at a different scale in front of the customer when we come together. There are a lot of programs. This year we have our partners by industry going into we're going with the right solution, with the right partner to the right customer. So the group I manage is the Enterprise Partner Solutions. And over there, we have the partner designation. And what we do on our managed list of industry partners is we map them by solution area, by geography. And then we have what we call the GTM activities that is part of my team as well, where we target those customers with the right partner, with the right solution. Designation is very important because it's not just the team members in my team, but across the sales organization, the solution specialists, the PDMs, to pick the right industry partner for the right opportunity. There is a lot of activities on skilling. We have the scale skilling for all partners, but we have dedicated set of resources that do specialized skilling, depending on the opportunity that we have with the partner. So this is very, if you look at the resources, whether are part of the global team or part of the EMEA team, we shake hand on who's going to do what, but we go to a level to win in front of a customer together. So that's something else that we have for the partners. And of course, the co-sell activities that we do, that we fund, where we bring in the sellers and the partners and Microsoft account managers, et cetera. We put them together and we set a target for what we want to achieve together. But the biggest thing that this group should, I'm sure you're aware of, if you're not, you should get on, is the marketplace. Because you have all these agentic agents that you develop go into the marketplace based on the designation. Here's one thing. It's good for you because it's not just a catalog. It's really a growth engine. It is a growth engine for us as well. So, and the nice thing about it is that it gives you the reach where you go to markets and to customers that you don't have in your portfolio so far. So it opens the horizon for everybody to leverage those capabilities. Second, it helps us as sellers within Microsoft because the salesperson within Microsoft retire part of the quota if you sell on the marketplace. Right. So the incentives are going both ways. Treat it as a growth engine. I encourage everybody to be on it. And today, I think more than 80 partners have a whole set of agents on the marketplace. And we are, of course, transforming the marketplace, improving it year on year. And I would look for a day where the marketplace is categorized by industry as well. It will make it simpler for all of us.
We're working on that. We are working on that. OK, great. Thank you so much for that. And in addition to co-selling, Microsoft co-markets with you, our industry partners. And at the end, I'll show you some ways where you can get involved in doing co-marketing with us from an industry perspective. Everything that we do when we enable our sales team, as Ihab mentioned, is we say what partner solutions are available. When we show up at events, we bring partners into our booths. When we do keynotes, we bring partners into our keynotes with us, as you saw yesterday. So I encourage you to not only do the co-selling with us, but also get involved in how can we work together from a marketing perspective. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about the power of partnership. So Sunil, can you talk about the power of the ecosystem, and then also maybe a little bit about what's next?
Absolutely. I think we are in a world where our customers and the overall market is running at the speed of AI. I think it's very, very important for us to be aligned as partners. And I think the kind of strategic collaboration that we have with Microsoft brings about a few of the foundations and solutions that our customers need. And I'd highlight 3 areas where we are looking forward to a lot of collaboration and innovative solutions that we together would take to market. The first area is the Copilot Everywhere and the agent frameworks that Microsoft has innovated and brought to market and is making constant evolution of these foundation capabilities. But combining that with the agentic AI services and frameworks and solutions that Infosys brings. We have branded this as Infosys-Topaz Fabric, something that we launched about a couple of weeks ago. It's a set of solutions and frameworks and accelerators that complement the platform capabilities of Microsoft so that our customers can focus on the business use cases and driving business outcomes through that. The second area, which I think is the biggest building block for any data and AI transformation, is the data foundation. And leveraging Microsoft Fabric, we've done this for several of our customers, where we use Microsoft Fabric to get enterprises data ready for AI. It integrates with the AI architectures and frameworks that both Infosys and Microsoft bring together, but how do we set that foundation where you have the data that can be trusted and can be used for AI across the enterprise? And the third, which is in our view, collective view of Microsoft and Infosys, one of the most important underpinnings of data and AI solution is the responsible AI. Leveraging Microsoft governance frameworks, as well as the Infosys Topaz Responsible AI Suite, we are able to bring these solutions with the underpinnings of trust, ethics, privacy, security, and compliance so that our customers can operate the AI solution with confidence, something that will remain in compliance today as the law exists, as well as the future regulations as they come into the market. So I think these are very pertinent and core areas of transformation, and that's on our roadmap that we're looking forward to.
Okay, it's good to hear you say that, especially about the responsible AI. When I was engaging with some partners last night, that was one of the things that they fed back to me is Microsoft is known for trust. And especially when it comes to AI, that if we're built on the partners are built on the Microsoft platform, that it's done keeping safety, security, privacy in mind.
Absolutely.
Colin, what about for you?
Well, I would want to build on the trust as a huge part, because ServiceNow has been widely recognized alongside Microsoft as one of the most trusted companies in the world. So we choose our partners based on our ability to collectively build trust with our customers. Number one, I think, is a big part of that. Building on that as well, I think the co-development thing is really interesting. So when you think about when you all announced Agent 365 just yesterday, ServiceNow was one of the launch partners there, because we've been working together to ensure that we bring our solutions to market together, make our customers' lives easier. I think that's fascinating. Of course, the marketplace side of it is huge as well, and really giving us shared opportunity to bring our solutions to market together in a unified story. And then really, as we think about agents, and we're all in the business of creating agents as software companies now, whether it be with the 75 billion workflows that happen on ServiceNow or across the broader landscape within Microsoft, how do we ensure that the interoperability is there? And so early access to engineering partnership, really ability to bring products to market faster than ever before based on that partnership.
Mm-hmm. I used to be a Microsoft partner before joining Microsoft, and one of the things that I really valued was the visibility to the product roadmap.
Right.
Because if you know what Microsoft is building, maybe there's things that you have on your roadmap that you say, oh, I can get that service from Microsoft and spend more of my engineering time on the industry-specific solutions that are so 100%. Important to our customers.
Well said.
Great. Ihab, what's next from a partner perspective?
I would look, I'm a seller.
I'm a seller, yes.
And it's how can we win together? So if I look at the commitments that our customers are making for us in terms of the MAC agreements, what is the role of the industry partner and partners in general into the consuming of that, right? I go back to the marketplace. Every time you consume out of a marketplace, it takes out of that commitment. So it's a win-win for the partner, for Microsoft, and for the customer. So that is one. The second thing I want to say is representing EMEA. The responsible AI and sovereignty is becoming a big topic, especially for defense and public sector, where we have made some amazing announcements. So I'm looking forward. We have partners with us from the get-go in terms of what we're doing with sovereignty, but that is an area of growth for us moving forward. There is high demand for it, and our partners are responding to that demand. So I'm looking at co-sell, integration on the consumption of what the customers have committed to both of us, and maybe more specific work on the sovereign and the responsible AI efforts.
Yes, I was just in Europe last week, and that was a big topic with our customers there.
It is.
Yes. Satish, how about from an engineering perspective? What are you investing in or focusing on to help our partners build agentic solutions faster?
Yeah. Actually, hopefully, with everything that you've heard yesterday, one of the beauties of, I think, building on the Microsoft cloud is, everything you heard yesterday around the investments we're doing across infrastructure, be it Azure, data, be it Fabric, AI, everything accrues to what we're doing at the agentic layer, right? So the key thing is, get very familiar, like for example, Agent 365, as we build agents, making sure that you have observability, trackability, et cetera, lineage, everything becomes super important. So that's one thing. But very specifically on the industry and agent side, obviously we're building more out-of-the-box agents that all of you can leverage and extend. We're making the existing agents even better, right? Going back to the whole point about evals and going up the hill. And I think the third thing is, as you look at a lot of these scenarios, most of it, like I said, will come from this room. So we would love to collaborate, and I think to the earlier point, I'm a huge fan of oversharing. So you'll never hear an agent that we're building so we would love to collaborate, especially if there's an agent or scenario that you're really good at. We would love to collaborate so that our joint customers can win, because that's ultimately how we'll kind of make customers successful on this journey. So surprise, surprise, a lot of agentic innovation. And I think the last thing I'll probably hit on is one of the other things we're exposing across a lot of our base platforms, like for example, business processes, is MCP action endpoints. Mm-hmm. So we've exposed everything across ERP, CRM, SMB solutions. So, since we're in the region here, we're working, for example, with a lot of VCs where a lot of new companies are building their scenarios on top of everything you see here. So, why go build a lot of these core things if you can access it via the MCP service we have? It's across function, across industry, et cetera. And then, of course, you can also expose it so these agents can talk to each other as well. So again, lots of platform-related stuff, but surprise, surprise, more agents on the horizon. But more importantly, would love to collaborate with folks on this room so we can get some joint customer logos on the board.
And then we can market those joint customer logos, Satish. Great. So Colin and Sunil, I'm going to throw out some questions that we didn't talk about ahead of time.
Fun.
Okay. So we talk about frontier transformation and companies becoming frontier. What are some things your company is doing to become a frontier firm?
Well, I think if we look at Infosys, we believe in the philosophy that if we are going to go and show a path to our clients, we need to follow that path ourselves. And through a lot of joint collaboration, I see Microsoft on that journey to be a frontier organization yourself too. And we are inspired by the partnerships that we have. So at Infosys for last 2 years, we have created a North Star for what would an AI-first services, digital services organization would look like. What would it do for our clients? What would it do for our own services? And we looked at AI with two lenses. Client.ai, which is what we do for our customers, and services.ai to be able to innovate everything that we do at Infosys. And all our services, how do we power those with the use of AI and agentic AI? And over the years, we have created impact both for our clients and our services. For example, in our accounts receivables, we have looked at how we can use AI to be able to do better matching and recovery and things like that. And that has driven significant advantage in our DSO. And similarly, for our customers, when they are looking to deploy AI solutions, it used to take anywhere between 3 to 6 months earlier. Now we are able to deploy the foundation within the first 6 to 8 weeks. Wow. And then look at every 6 weeks to do the sprints to be able to deliver new AI capabilities. So I think we are in a world where the acceleration is going to be there, but I think it's about partners working together, and Satish touched on it, having that alignment to say what pieces of the puzzle we're going to put together, leveraging the best that we can offer, and deliver that acceleration and impact for our customers.
That's great. And Colin?
Our whole mission from day one has been to put technology to work in service of people. And obviously AI is that mantra for us today, clearly. And we see this incredible relationship between deterministic workflows that we've existed in for quite some time, and we've been a leader and pioneer in, and adding the probabilistic technology with large language models and things like Microsoft technology to really bring together this idea of automation in ways that we've never seen before. And that really gives us as humans time back in our day to focus on the things that really, really matter. and taking those 75 billion workflows that happen on our platform every day, automating that to give people time back in their lives and their careers to focus on the stuff that they're really hired for. We think that that is an unbelievable unlock for our customers as well as for the people that work at those organizations. So that's where we're focused.
Yeah, I agree, and we're both in marketing, and we look at ourselves as becoming a frontier marketing organization. And you mentioned it, really great, giving people time back to focus on the work that they love to do. In marketing, we're creative, so we want to be able to spend more time on the creative components. So what I'd like to end with, thank you to our panelists. This was a fantastic discussion, but is for our partners here in the room, want to make sure that you are aware of all of the resources that we have for you. So first of all, we want to make sure that we're telling your stories. So please, again, we want to be able to do joint customer references with you, so please be sure to submit your stories. As Satish talked about, please publish your agents and your apps to the Microsoft Marketplace. It's a great way to get visibility and also a great way to engage with our sales team as well. Also in our programs, the Microsoft AI Cloud Partner Program. Whew, that's a long one to say there. So be sure to check that out to see all of the programs that are there for you. And then also, we are invested in helping you build your agents and have a program in place where you can work with our engineering team to help accelerate you building your industry agents, and then also once you have a customer reference, doing co-marketing with us. So we encourage you to check out all of these different programs. And then next, while you're here at Ignite, be sure to go and visit us in the industry showcase in the hub. As soon as you go down the stairs, it's right to the right, so you will see all of our industry experts there. Also, this QR code will show you industry-specific sessions where you can hear from Microsoft and customers, and many of you are partners, about value that we are driving by industry. And then also, something that we have published is Industry Hero AI use cases. These are both by industry, vertical, and by function. So with all of the thousands and thousands of customers that Microsoft has worked with, we publish what are the top use cases that we see by industry. So check them out, but then also, if you have a customer story related to those use cases, please get them to us as well. So I want to end where I started with a big thank you to you, our partners. You are critical to everything that we do in industry, and we appreciate all of the work that you do. And again, a big thank you to the panelists. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.